I'd like to start today's video on somewhat of a petty note. I know I only have 10 seconds to grab your attention, but bear with me. I'd like to give just a moment of silence to my Rogue Warrior poster that I've had since 2008. It's been a part of my background in some shape or form since my first video intro way back in 2011. So please, if you don't mind, can we just take a moment for the Rogue Warrior?
No surprise, motherfuckers.
Happy fucking birthday.
That's right, Nighty Night, you sweet piece of shit. Enjoy the ride, cocksucker. Have a nice trip.
So I went through a move recently and came across my old stash of Nintendo Power magazines. As you may know, or may not know, Nintendo Power was the source of anything Nintendo related from the end themselves. We're not here today to talk about Nintendo Power. Instead, we're here to talk about something that I've wanted to talk about for a very long time. We're here today to talk about this issue of Nintendo Power. This is volume number 53 from October 1993. So why are we talking about this specific issue? Is it because that Super Empire Strikes Back is on the cover? Is it because Yoda's face looks a little human and not quite right? Is it because a little boy Luke Skywalker in the background trying his hardest to lift his favorite toy? Or is it Yoda's really big feet that are disproportionate to the rest of his body? No, we are going to look at what's tucked over here in this little circle here. You know, one of the best fighting games of all time. So is Mortal Kombat robbed? I don't know. Neither of these show up in anyone's top 10 list of best Super Nintendo games, that's for sure. However, IGN did rank it number 91 out of 100 of best Super Nintendo games, so I guess that's a win. So why are we talking about Mortal Kombat of all things? The Super Nintendo version was infamous for removing the blood and therefore infinitely sucking. It's a story that's been traded on by better YouTubers with better production value and better storytelling, so you might as well go and check them out. And if I'm your favorite YouTuber, I feel very sorry for you. Since I was a kid, I always thought it was a little bullshit how they tried to sell Mortal Kombat to us. After all, Nintendo Power was already borderline propaganda, and we were all drinking the Kool-Aid and enjoying the flavor at the same time. Even at my young age, I could smell the bullshit from a mile away, given the news that they were censoring the game in the first place. Someplace, sometime in 1993, some PR person went and thought up all this stuff, did the mental gymnastics to come up with this, and it would be wrong for me to not share it on the internet in some small way. So come with me as we go through some sort of Mortal Kombat cavalcade of crap. That'll do. Chapter 1. A Dangerous Conflict. Acclaim's competition edition of Mortal Kombat brings awesome arcade action into your home with incredible digitized graphics, exclusive extra finishing moves, and a special handicap mode. It's a street fighting standout. Whoo boy, there's a lot to unpack here, so let's just start. So everything had some sort of edition on it. Thank you, Street Fighter. And so we had Champion editions, we had Turbo editions, we had Tournament edition, we had Competition edition. I think that was it, actually. But either way, the Genesis version of the game was just advertised as Mortal Kombat, while the Super Nintendo version was advertised as Mortal Kombat Competition Edition. Competition with a C, by the way. They didn't even bother to do the K, which writes itself, and I'm living proof I'm an idiot. So this Competition Edition differentiates itself by giving us a handicap mode, and what they say are extra finishing moves. Now, last I heard, the term extra implied that the original moves were still there in the first place. So this feature looks like it takes images out of the Mortal Kombat comic book that was available in the Attract mode on the arcade game. Basically, you send in like a check or a money order to some P.O. box, and then they'd send you the comic book back through the mail. I'd never seen it myself. My parents were too cheap. I was just happy to get the 50 cents in the first place. But I always had a problem with how people drew women in the 90s, especially comic book artists. They always drew them like men with long hair. I mean, look at all these square jaws. So this super exclusive handicap mode that's such a big selling point of this competition edition of Mortal Kombat is tucked away way down in the corner on the second page. And it gets a little blurred because what else can you say about you can adjust the health for your opponent? You know, just like how handicap modes work. So the article goes on to run through each character's moves, and the real stars of the show come out here, where every new fatality or finishing move, as they wanted to call them, was highlighted with this big graphic that said new move, like it was exclusive. Well, it was exclusive to the game, but unfortunately these moves were, as we all know, pretty lame. But even back then, I thought it was ridiculous and just kind of hilarious how they would just try to push this like this was a great thing. Like, no, really, you guys are getting something exclusive here. Look at this, huh? New moves. And I don't know, it was the most transparent thing I'd ever seen. But here we go. We've got Johnny Cage, new move. Sub-Zero, new move. Raiden, new move. Kano, new move. Boy, that looks painful. One interesting thing I did see when I was reading this was what they called Scorpion Spear move. They call it the Van Damme Spear. I'd never actually seen that move referenced anywhere, and I actually did a Google search to try to research this and see if I was missing anything or if this was something anybody else knew about. And I wasn't able to find much of anything besides this WikiTalk link that talks about how it's referenced in early promotional material. Oh yes, we all remember Sonya's good friends Jake and Sparky. They got their own spin-offs, I believe. Either way, the feature ends with a whimpering, "Let the tournament begin," written right below the border of the page. It looks terrible, it looks awful, and you turn the page and you get to Super Bomberman and Plock, and aren't they adorable? The Game Boy version is also featured here as well, and after seeing the fatalities for it, I can see why they didn't do it with as much gusto as the Super Nintendo version. However, even as a child, I knew that GB plus MK equals no way. Thank you so much for watching, and it's good to be back. I hope you guys are happy to see me, maybe. Just to let you know, there are 2 videos, that is right, 2 videos coming down the pipe right now that I am in the process of writing on and working on, and so things are gonna be a little bit more normal, hopefully. See you soon.